You are what your environment is. And I feel like a lot of people don't fully realize that. And what I mean by that is if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, you will succumb to that negativity. If you're constantly surrounded by positivity, you're gonna eventually succumb to that positivity. I didn't truly start realizing that until a couple years ago. Like 2 years ago, I started hanging around people who I shouldn't have been hanging out with, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. And I knew this. I knew that I shouldn't have been doing it. But because my environment, because my friends, the people who I cared about, they were on this type of timing, I started doing that shit too. And I didn't realize how detrimental it was to me until recently, actually. Back then I didn't think it was such a big deal. I didn't understand how harmful it was to my growth as a person. And I look at some of the people that I hung around with back then, and some of these guys are incarcerated. Some of these guys are even, I don't even want to talk about it, bro. And that just goes to show how your environment really does dictate who you become and who you'll be as a person. Because at the end of the day, your environment really is a reflection of who you are. And I feel like a lot of people need to start waking up to that truly. When I started hanging around with my friends that were more creative, people who into fashion, people who into music, people who like to draw, art, bro, stuff like that, I started doing those things. Like, bro, this notebook here, I literally draw, I write down lyrics, I write down my thoughts and everything because my environment, the people who I was around, they were telling me how they did it and how that makes them feel better. And when I started doing that, I started realizing that, this is actually it. This is something I want to do, and I actually find happiness in it. And that's why it's so important to surround yourselves with the right people. Like, let me give you guys an example, bro. Easy E. You know how that guy got famous? You know how he got popular and popping? Because Dr. Dre told him to hop in the booth. He told him, his environment, his friends told him to do something. And that ended up making him a millionaire. It also gave him AIDS, but we're not talking about that. That environment made him realize the potential that he had, and he became rich, famous, successful off that, bro. His name is gonna be remembered for years, for decades. But that also goes both ways. If you're gonna be surrounding yourselves with people who, break the law, or people who treat their girlfriends wrong, or just people who are negative, you're subconsciously gonna start normalizing that in your head. And then it's gonna make it that much more easier to fall victim to the things that they do. I know for a fact when I see someone, breaking the law, shoplifting or anything, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I used to do that. Because it's been normalized in my head. And, even though I know that it's wrong, it's still a normal thing to me. I don't second guess it. I don't question it that much. And that eventually led to, me taking it up a level and doing more than that. And that just goes to show the effect that it had on me as a person. But I started to realize, that's not the person I wanted to be. That's not the man who I wanted to become eventually. So I stopped doing that. I stopped hanging around with these people. And I started realizing the negative effects that my environment had on me. And this message is so much more important and impactful to the youth because your youth is when you're most impressionable. The youth are so impressionable. They see something, they want to do it straight away because they don't have they haven't been programmed yet. They don't have the programming, the conditioning that adults and older people have. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's an amazing thing because if you guys start, surrounding yourselves with positive influences, positive environments, you guys are gonna be in places that, bro, the places that you'll be, you wouldn't even be able to fathom them right now. If I told you 10 years where you'd be, you wouldn't even be able to fathom it. And that's why it's so important to surround yourselves in the right environment. Put yourselves in the right environment because you are what your environment is. And I know it's hard when you're young, even when you're old, to start start drifting away from friends. And even your parents could be the bad environment. And I know it's hard when you're young, but what you need to realize is that you're not them, and you can't let them dictate who you're gonna be. You need to start protecting your energies. I know for a fact, growing up, I've taken some negative aspects from my environment, and I'm still dealing with them right now. I'm still dealing with them today, but I'm in a better place because I realize what they are and what they'll do to me, and I stopped feeding into them. I started starving those type of feelings, those emotions, those actions. I started starving them and I started feeling better about myself. I started feeding and growing my traits and attributes that I know were good for me. I started doing things I started doing things and doing activities that I know would better me as a person, as a man, and become closer to God in general. And when I started doing that, I was, bro, dead ass. Like the past 2 years, I haven't been happier. Like dead ass, I haven't been happier my whole life than in these past 2 years. I mean, apart from when I was a kid, because you know, when you're a kid, bro, everything's amazing, everything's great. But that's what it is, bro. It's literally protecting your inner child. You need to protect your inner child. And by doing these things, by putting yourselves in the right environments that actually help you flourish and grow as a person, that is you protecting your inner child. That's you nurturing your inner child, bro. And you can't let negative influences and just the negative environment, the wrong environment, you can't let that affect you. You can't let that change who you are as a person. And the earlier you realize that, guys, the better you'll start feeling, bro. And it's not easy. No one said it was going to be easy. I never said it was going to be easy. It's hard, bro. That's what life is. Life is hard. But when you start taking in the actions now, early, bro, you'll start reaping the benefits sooner, bro. Like, dead ass. Why wait a couple years to start bettering yourselves when you can do it today? When you can start doing it right now? Literally, by just clicking on this video, just watching this video, you guys were bettering yourselves. You guys don't. Some of you guys might not have realized it, but you guys were low-key looking for a sign. Your brain clicked on this video for a reason. It's because it wants you to better yourself. Really deep that, bro. Your environment really does dictate who you are and who you become. Now, don't get me wrong. Your environment isn't what you are. Your environment isn't what you are as a person, but it is a reflection of who you are. It does show your values. And it goes so deep. Like, for example, like the music that you listen to. Bro, if you're constantly listening to, and I'm not saying this to bash on rap or anything, but like if you're constantly listening to like negative gangster rap and everything like that, bro, you're gonna start acting that certain way. You're gonna start moving yourself in that type of way. And you know, to always be in that mindset, that's bad, bro. Like that's actually bad for your mental, real shit. Me myself, bro, I can't lie, I be bumping like Ken, Cardi, like I be bumping all that shit. But I realized that just in their music, their lyrics, bro, like they just be glorifying what's it called? They just be glorifying the devil, glorifying treating women like shit, calling women hoes. They just constantly sexualizing and objectifying women. Bro, if I'm constantly listening to that, that's how I'm gonna start thinking. That's how good I'm going. Bro, that's how I'm gonna start thinking and viewing stuff subconsciously, bro. And you need to start realizing that, bro. Now, I'm not saying to, you know, stop listening to that type of music, because me, bro, I'll never stop listening to Uzi and Ken, bro. That's literally my goat. But you need to start understanding how that's affecting you. Even the words that you say, your vocabulary, bro, that's a part of your environment, bro. Never say I can't do something, because you can do anything, bro. I'm telling you, you literally have the power, bro. I know some people won't fully get that. A lot of people won't fully realize what I'm saying, but for the people who do, bro, you do have the power, bro. You can literally do anything you want in life, as long as you put your mind to it, bro. So your environment, you know, surrounding yourselves with good role models, people who push you to be harder as a person, bro. That is so, bro. I can't even like put words into how important that is, bro. And, you know, I'm hoping that a lot of people start waking up and realizing that, and they start bettering themselves as people, just as how I've been bettering myself. Like, you know, just being in nature like this, bro. Like, I'm literally by myself. I ain't got nobody with me and shit, but I'm still happy, bro. I'm still happy. My environment, bro, look at this, nature. Bro, look at my city, bro. Ain't this beautiful, bro? Ain't this beautiful, bro? You need to surround yourselves in beautiful environments, bro. This is what I'm saying, bro. And, you know, yeah. And, you know, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say, bro. But, if you guys made it this far in the video, bro, you know, I really appreciate you guys, bro. Like, that's actually some real love right there. And just remember, bro, you clicked onto this video for a reason, bro. You watched this video fully for a reason, man. So, you know, just, you know, keep God, or, you know, whatever high powers you believe in, bro. Just whatever you believe in, bro, just keep that shit close to you. And keep bettering yourselves, because that's the way, bro. That truly is the way. Yeah, God bless you guys. And, you know, hope you guys have an amazing day, bro. And make sure to drink water. Don't forget that, bro. I need to drink some water myself.